The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos wants to intensify the government's efforts against human trafficking. Marcos Jr. ordered the Interagency Council Against Trafficking and Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission to step up their operations. The chief executive also directed the Presidential Communications Office to assist in launching a communication campaign against human trafficking. He explained that human trafficking has been an ongoing problem for many countries as the global economy recovers from the COVID-19 pandemic. Authorities are looking at Apari Vice Mayor Romel Alameda's opposition to black sand mining as a possible motive behind his murder. PNP Chief Rodolfo Azurin said Alameda was against black sand mining, which is the business of some people in Cagayan. Azurin added that they now have leads to possible masterminds and other persons of interest behind Alameda's killing. Alameda and 5 of his companions were killed in an ambush in Bagabag, Nueva Vizcaya last February 19.
Business rivalry in the sense na meron kasing ongoing na yung black sand mining. Itong mga black sand na ito ay binebenta sa mga Chinese. So ito yung isa sa nakikita natin na anggulo because Vice Mayor Alameda had been against sa sa negosyo na yun na nininegosyo ng ibang mga kababayan niya doon sa Cagayan.
Opo. Multiple complaints have been filed against the suspects in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Tegamo and 8 others. Aside from murder raps, the suspects are facing charges for illegal possession of firearms and explosives. Authorities now have 4 suspects in its custody and are zeroing in on a possible mastermind. A special task force led by Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos has yet to disclose details on this, as cases are still being finalized. Last week, the arrested suspects tagged a certain Congressman Teves as the brains behind the ambush. Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves, who is out of the country, has since denied involvement in the murder.
Alam kong kilala mo naman kung sino ka. At alam mo naman yung mga taong nahuli na namin at anong pwedeng magawa nito laban sa iyo. Sumuko ka na. Sumuko ka na. Mahirap ang pangalanan, wag muna natin pangalanan.
Congressman Teves' legal team is also appealing to authorities to look at all possible angles in the case. They said that it's possible that Congressman Teves is just being framed after claims that he is involved in isabong operations.
Kaya nga sabi ko, the investigator must explore all leads. Baka ibang motibo. Baka lang, hindi ko sinasabing totoo. Baka isabong, Teves tagged as mastermind. Walang nagtatag eh. May inambush interview sila. Sabi, may kausap ko kami, si Marvin. Sabi, si Congressman Teves daw. Hindi naman acceptable yun eh. Hindi admissible yun eh.
Meanwhile, the National Police is investigating if there are lapses on the part of the security escorts assigned to Degamo. 5 of Degamo's police escorts did not report for duty on the day of the ambush.
Initially kasi ang dyan is the 5 personnel na sinasabi na security ni Governor Degamo. Ito ay siya mismo ang namili. Kilala niya itong mga ito. And siguro they have to explain nga bakit but usually kasi yung 5 na yan may rotation kasi yan eh. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na everyday yung 5 na yan ay magre-report for duty.
Meanwhile, Degamo's remains was met by grieving constituents in a heartbreaking homecoming. Degamo's body was brought back to his hometown Siaton to give his family and other residents an opportunity to pay respects before he is laid to rest. Justin Punsalang with the rest of the details.
Roel Degamo was born and grew up in Siaton. This was also where he began his political career, first serving as a member of the municipal council for 9 years. After that, he ran and won as a provincial board member, eventually becoming the governor of Negros Oriental at the death of the sitting governor and vice governor in 2010 and 2011. This morning, Siaton welcomed back its son. Residents from here and other nearby municipalities flocked to the gymnasium at the plaza to pay their last respects to the slain governor. They said they are both saddened and angered by Degamo's death. Fear is still gripping the province despite the heightened presence of police and military troops, since several suspects are still at large.
Naramdaman ko sa akong dibdib nga mayroong kaguol kakuan kay kalungkot.
Masakit. Namatay siya, bakit? Walang alam siguro.
Malungkot. Dahil mabait siya. Lahat-lahat. Galit at lungkot.
These employees of the municipal hall held black flags bearing the phrase "Justice for Gov. Degamo." Students from elementary to college missed their classes to condole with the Degamo family and the rest of the province. They came bearing white flags. Even criminology students participated in keeping the peace and order at the Siaton Plaza. In her speech, Pamplona Mayor Janice Degamo thanked the Degrenses for their support. Once again, he called for justice for her husband's brazen murder. She is also giving 5 members of the governor's police security the benefit of the doubt. The cops were supposedly missing on the day Degamo was gunned down.
Sa tingin ko, it is possible na what is in the list assigned to the governor may not be the exact number of people that stayed with him. Kasi nga, kung titignan nyo, yung nephew niya, board member. Yung anak namin, board member din. Ang alam ko, but I want this confirmed in the list, kung yung mga pangalan na nandoon, yun din ba yung naka-detail sa mga anak ko.
Degamo will be laid to rest in Bonawon on Thursday afternoon. For News 5, Justine Punsalang. We are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Senator J.V. Ejercito raised concerns about the newly signed Memorandum of Understanding between the NGCP and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, or NICA. The lawmaker pointed out that the National Grid Corporation is 40% owned by the State Grid Corporation of China. Says there would be no issue if the Philippines is not embroiled in any dispute with China.
Kung wala tayong dispute with China, then again, I guess I will be comfortable. But with an ongoing dispute with China, and a Chinese entity owns 40% of the National Grid Corporation, it's indeed a cause for concern. Paano yan? Kung magkaroon tayo ng hindi pagkakaintindihan ng China, isang switch lang, pwede pala maparalyze ang buong Pilipinas because of NGCP.
The MOU between the NGCP and NICA is aimed at protecting the country's energy assets against cyber attacks. Under the agreement, NICA will recommend ways for the NGCP to safeguard its transmission assets. And no less than President Bongbong Marcos witnessed the signing of the deal in Malacanang yesterday.
Since NGCP is a critical part of our security, of our ability to continue to function as a society, then this is an important day, because now we have made more robust the defenses against any possible attacks on our power systems.
Former policeman Jeffrey Perez is found guilty of killing 2 teenagers in the heat of the Duterte administration's war on drugs. Perez will spend up to 40 years in prison for the 2017 killing of Carl Arnaiz and Reynaldo de Guzman, more popularly known as Kulot. The ex-cop was previously convicted of torturing the 2 teens and planting of evidence in the case of Arnaiz. Arnaiz was found at the funeral home in Caloocan 11 days after he was reported missing. Police claimed he died at a shootout after robbing a taxi driver and firing at responding policemen. Meanwhile, de Guzman's remains were found floating in a creek in Gapan, Nueva Ecija. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I am Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.